Hi everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Teebo from Star Wars. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so Teebo, huh? Right. So yeah, I had a request a while back for ewoks, and so it kind of made me laugh. I was like, well, I mean, you want to draw them all? I mean, so I can't do that, but I can. You could draw some, and in doing so, I said, you know, I'll just do a couple of. I think there's only a few I can do anyway, right? Like specific ones. And I guess I'm also thinking of ones that were made into like toys, because those are the ones that were defined, right? I mean, the rest of them were just characters. But like Teebo, you know, there's Teebo, there's Wicket, there's Low Gray, and I think that might be it. So I'll go back and look, but like I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to be it as far as individuals. Okay, so I'm just kind of going for a, you know, big teddy bear pose with his, you know, little spiky tooth things that he's got hanging out. So yeah, I'm just kind of sticking his end up in the air, just trying to come up with something cool for him. And it's kind of a practice in drawing a shorter person, you know? Since, you know, it's people in costume, but it's shorter people in costume. So it's good practice to, you know, just get anatomy down for different stuff. And so we'll just have him kind of pointing off. These guys are a little creepy, I'm gonna say that. He's and I hate to say creepy, it's just the way their eyes are, and it's just weird looking. Like, if you've seen a good close-up picture of these guys, man. I mean, all I really have to go by are like screenshots. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Can you see that? That's creepy. I mean, that's it is what it is, you know. I mean, he's a little guy, but yeah, it's just weird looking. I think it's the eyes. The eyes kind of get me. But you know, hey, I'm not one to judge. You know, it's a costume is all it really is. But man, is it a costume. It's a little creepy looking. That's all I'm going to say. We'll just leave it at that. Oh, and on top of that, he's wearing somebody's head. You know, a little monster head. Like whatever that is. A little, you know, it looks like a warthog to me. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, you can see the eyes or whatever it is, like that. Head goes back and it's got his ears up. So yeah, so the sketch came out pretty good, so I'm just getting the detail now. And he's got all kinds of like little feathers and stuff hanging off, so. But yeah, I think that might be it. I think that's going to be good enough. We can get going with the Sharpie. This is going to be a trick because I was talking about this during the Wicket one. It's tough to figure out what lines I'm going to draw and what I'm not, because you know, it's fur, and I think color should take care of a lot of it, but I need to define a few things. So it's going to be tricky, but I'm up for the challenge. Okay, that's good. I'm going to switch over. Oh, you know what? Let me erase some of these sketch lines. In getting here, I had to put a whole bunch of lines down to try to figure out, you know, the positioning. And so now I want to erase some of those because I want the Sharpie to stand out, not my pencil sketch. But I also got to leave myself enough that I can draw. Okay, I think that's enough. And I say we welcome everybody that skipped. And get going. Alright, let's do this. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point and can find things that the fine point can't quite find. Okay, that went a little too big. So I'm going to start off with the, I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased most of it, but I've left myself a small ghost of an image that I can use to draw and guide me. So I'm going to start off with a Sharpie pen because I can control the line widths much better. And I was talking about this in the sketch that now is going to be a tricky time to figure out what fur I'm going to draw. So I'm not drawing all of it, but I've got to draw some of it. So let's go ahead and start with his creepy old eyes. I'm going to draw one of them like this. Draw the other one like that. And sorry, I know I called them creepy, but I was talking about this in the sketch. They're weird. He just looks really strange. Even EWOK, even Wicket, if you look at him, he looks strange until you add color to him. So I'm adding a little bit of fur like this, kind of covering up the bottom of that eye, just mixing it up a little bit. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to go ahead and draw like that, kind of like more fur coming into that eye, and then I can do the underneath, the underside. Now I'm not going to color it in. I'm going to leave that for color because they're pretty much like black and just there's a little bit of shading in there. So I'm going to leave it like that. I know it's going to look weird, but again, it's just how we're going to pick and choose for right now. Okay, and I'm just going to do something like this just to kind of show some fur. And for his nose, let's see, I drew a nostril like this, another one like that. I can come in, draw the edges like this. Now for the top, I think I'm just gonna do something like this. And that'll kind of show that there's fur there, but over the top of his nostril, or the top of the bulb of his nose, something like that. Okay, so for his mouth, let's go ahead and draw the top lip, like this. Go ahead and define it and thicken it up. And then he's got, you can see his teeth. They're little mangly little scary looking things, but they're in there. Okay, so I'm going to draw the bottom lip like this. I'm going to draw a few of the bottom teeth like that. Now that's it, that's all I'm going to draw. Then come in here for the bottom of the lip and play around with some hairs on this. Now again, like I said, I don't want to draw, I want to draw all the hairs, but I can't. I need to let color take care of a lot of it. So I'm just going to kind of play around with a few lines like this, just to define a few things. And you know what, speaking of, let's define like a little bottom eyelid like that. Again, creepy eyes, but hey, he is what he is. Alright, let's add just a few more lines. Again, I should really let color take care of this, but I wanted to find that there are some fur lines in his face like this. Okay, so I think I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie now. I'll come back and forth. We'll go back and forth with what we're doing and define a few edges here. So he's going to have stuff hanging off of him, but let's start with his hat, his little monster hat. It's got fangs coming down like this. Okay, and that's our edge of it. So we're going to say the lip of that thing. It's kind of like this. Okay, it's going to come around. And this one going back. So let's see, the nostrils of it are kind of something like this. Here, let's come back with the small Sharpie and add some subtlety. like that. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of edge here just to show that it's not as thick. And I'm going to make these a little pointier. And kind of a compliment is what I was going for with that. That's why I was going with the thinner lines there. And then we're going to draw his big old warthog tusks out like this. And I can draw the top of his head and his eyes. They're kind of closed. Kind of something like this. It's going to come around to his ears. And as creepy as that is to be wearing an animal head on you, you know, like that, he's just a creep in general. I'm just going to say that. It defines his head, his look, you know? So I got to give the designers credit for that because they did a really good job of making him stand out and making each one unique. So we can see some of his ears, and so we're going to say, oh, you know what? Looking at it, it looks like it's on top of, yeah, it looks like it's on top of like a hat part that's on top of his head. So I'm going to draw this that it's sitting on. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just an animal head on his head, it's animal head on a hat on his head. Got it? Good. Alright, and in doing so, that means that there's little strings and vines and little things that are holding it together. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra detail of little things that are hanging off, because he's got quite a bit of leaves and kind of crazy things hanging off of him, and feathers, lots of feathers. All right, but now that I have those, I need to do the ears, and again, there's more feathers over here too, so let me do that. Just to define a few things. I should probably be doing this with a bigger Sharpie because they need to be thicker. But he's got quite a few, that's why I wanted to do that. Okay, there's that animal's ear. Whatever that is. Alright. Again, more fur. Alright. So, let's, he's got more hanging down here, but let's go ahead and let's give him his ears. So his ears are going to be something like this. Okay. Kind of blending in with the hat. Again, I'm going to hang some more strings and feathers and accoutrement. I'm going to say that's his getting a little messy here, but that's his what do you call it? His headset, his headdress. All right. Okay, so let's get going now. So now that I've got all that defined, I'm going to go ahead and draw his. Let's see what else. He's got a lot of stuff on. He's got a lot of earrings and things like that. He's got. Should I do those? No, I'm going to do it with the big Sharpie. Okay, so he's got a necklace. So I'm going to draw his chin. Come in here, do something like this, just to define the edge. And then I can start adding his big boned tooth necklace. And it's kind of going under, I guess it's kind of holding his hat, if you want to look at it that way. So it's on a string that's going around, you know, attaching like that. So it makes sense. So are these bones, or do you think they're claws? Like, what do you think? Are they teeth? I assume they were teeth, but you know, they could be claws. right. All right, looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw the edge of his head here. There's some fur coming down like that. That's gonna be in there. And so again, we're going to play around with just some fuzz and fur. Again, color is going to take care of a lot of it, so I'm not going to draw all these lines, but I wanted to at least draw some to make it look like fuzzy fur and fuzzy fur. I don't know why I'm trying to come up with a better word. Okay. I'm also going to give him a little, he's got something that's hanging over. It's not really a purse, but it's a little strap of something. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to draw it, but I'm also going to hit a few times to make it look like there's fur covering some of it. Clean this up a little bit. So in other words, you know, it's going over his fur, but that fur is so wild and woolly, there's some points where the fur is hanging over it. Okay? And it's just to break it up, to make it a little different. We're just trying to make it asymmetrical. Symmetrical is great, but asymmetrical makes it look real. Okay? So in doing that, let's do this. So I'm going to draw his shoulder like this. There's going to be the strap. It's going to come down. We're going to do like that. That's going to be the fur hanging over. Something like that. Okay? And I'm going to draw whatever it is over here, this little weird thing hanging there. And the bottom part will say there's none. So in the bottom part, we're just going to go ahead and draw the line. Like that. Okay? So there, it's just kind of show that it's like got some fur and fuzz over it. Something like that. See? And so by doing that, we kind of broke it up, and see how it looks like fur now, kind of hanging off of, or hanging over the strap. Just little stuff like that's gonna, you know, make it work. Let's go ahead and do this arm, and then I'll work back this way. So this one I've got kind of up. So I'm just gonna kind of draw the shape with a little bit of fuzz and fur. Just because like I said, I planned it out, I knew what was gonna happen here. And I'm just gonna draw his hand out like this. Just, he's kind of waving hi. Like, hi, come here so I can eat you. Ooh, let's talk about that. So, I talked about this in the Wicked one, that it's kind of funny that they're cannibals, you know? They're fuzzy and cute, but when you think about it, they were going to eat everybody, you know? So it's kind of funny to think that you know, we love Ewoks. They're great and they're cute and they're fuzzy, and they saved the Empire. They saved the rebels. You know, if it weren't for them, it wouldn't have happened. But when you think about it, it's kind of funny because yeah, they were cannibals. Alright, just drawing a little bit of like where his palm would be. Something like that. Ooh, I gotta stop. See, I want to draw all the fur. That's kind of the problem with drawing fuzzy animals, is I want to do every single little line of the fur. But I gotta stop. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. This arm is gonna be up holding his staff. So I'm just gonna kind of do, again, follow the shape that I sketched. I'm going to go ahead and just draw this side over here so you see where we are. So do the elbow up to, I'm going to stop right there because I got to draw the staff through, and I don't want to draw it through the arm first. So I'm going to draw his fingers over like this. And then I'm going to draw like, we're going to draw like where the hand would be. And we're going to say, that's wrapped around the staff. Now we did this in the Wicket one, that it's a stick, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to draw it through like this. I'm going to do the other side like this. There, and so see, I wanted to make sure I did that first, so when I draw the rest of the arm, I'm not drawing through the stick. Okay? I'll add some more detail in a second. Add some detail, make it stand out. Alright, so we're going to do some kind of wrapping. We can wrap something around the edge here. And then we'll kind of make this into like a flint spear, you know, something like that. So it's got like dents and bumps in it. It's a hard rock. Okay. We'll add some wood texture to this just to make it different. Okay. So same thing here. We're gonna play around with some fur, but not all of it, because as I keep saying, color needs to take care of it. Alright, so now we're just going to draw his legs. And he's just standing there, so we're going to follow the shape that I sketched out. Again, add little bumps. Let's see, his foot's going to be over like that. We'll go ahead and do both sides. That. Again, a little bit of fur. Alright, so remember, you don't have to draw all the same lines I'm drawing. I'm just kind of playing around with some lines that might be fur, and I'll let color take care of the rest. So speaking of, I think we're good. I think I'm ready to do that. So yeah, let's do that. So I say we take care of the rest with color. And close that off. So that is Teebo from Star Wars. So here's my colored version. You can color it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.